So, did you know that 7 out of 10 people will experience some form of foot pain in their lifetime? 7 out of 10 people. That's a lot. And also, it seems to me that there is an epidemic of people having fallen arches or other types of foot related issues. My theory is that it's associated with us wearing terrible shoes. I talk about that in a separate video. And probably just not going barefoot enough, not walking around without shoes. But there seems to be a lot of foot-related issues going on, which can lead to problems all the way up the body. It can lead to ankle problems, it can lead to knee pain, hip pain, back pain, even neck pain. So I'm sure it surprises you to know that maybe your back and your neck pain is associated with your feet. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Karin from Karinyogalife, and I specialize in teaching yoga to women over 40 to keep them healthy, happy, and pain-free. So common foot misalignments, foot weakness, foot inflexibility or tightness, as I mentioned, can contribute to foot pain, but it can also have repercussions going all the way up the body. So the good news is that when you treat foot pain or foot issues, you can actually be treating your knee pain, your hip pain, your back pain, your shoulder, and even your neck pain. So if we pay attention to how our feet are connecting to the earth, how we are holding ourselves, how our feet are planted down on the ground, we can actually be correcting all kind of other structural issues going on in our bodies. So for example, if we have pronated feet, that means the feet are turning inward like this, more on the inner edges of the feet. That can lead to knee pain and back pain. If we have fallen arches, that can also lead to a host of other issues going on in the body, including bunions and shin splints and even knee and back pain. So we really want to think about how our feet connect with the earth, how they're aligned, as well as how strong and flexible they are. So there are 3 key things to remember, which I just hinted at, which is how do your feet connect to the earth? In yoga, we talk a lot about being balanced on all 4 corners of the feet when we're in standing poses. So that means not too much on the inner edges of the feet, not too much on the outer edges of the feet, but you want to be equally balanced on the inner and outer edges of the feet. So the front of the foot as well as the inner and outer edge of the heel. You really want to be distributing your weight evenly throughout your foot, which will prevent a lot of misalignments going on higher up in the body. So as I mentioned, if you're too pronated, that can affect your knees, your hips, your back, as well as the opposite is also true. So we want to think about how our feet are connecting to the floor, which is obviously much more difficult when we wear shoes, when we wear heels, when we wear pointy toe shoes, all kind of shoes that are not good for us women that we tend to love to wear. I'm guilty of it too. I've spent many years wearing lots of shoes that have not been good for my feet. So we want to think about how our feet are connected to the earth. The other thing is we want to think about keeping the feet flexible. So that means the top of the feet, the arches of the feet, we want to keep them flexible so that they can respond to how we're moving on the earth, on the ground. We also want to keep our feet strong so that they can support us well, efficiently, and support the rest of the body. So common foot problems include things like plantar fasciitis. I have a lot of students with plantar fasciitis, which is associated with tightness along the sole of the feet. It's also associated with tightness in the calves and the hamstrings, often can present as inflexible ankles. And plantar fasciitis often is simply well, it can be a wear and tear issue, overuse, but it can also be tightness in the arches of the feet, which if we stretch our feet, stretch our calves, it can help to reduce the pain and eliminate the pain of plantar fasciitis. Again, with fallen arches, as we get older, a lot of people experience fallen arches. The arches become less pronounced, or we get flat feet, which can also lead to a lot of issues. Yoga can also help to strengthen the arches of the feet. So just because you have flat feet doesn't mean that you can't strengthen the arches of the feet, which will help to support your entire body much more effectively. So those are 3 things that we can keep in mind that we need to think about when we're thinking about our feet, thinking about keeping our feet happy, healthy, and pain-free. So that's number 1, how our feet are connected to the floor, to the earth. Are we balanced on the inner and outer edges of the feet, the front and the back equally, distributing our weight throughout the feet? Are our feet nice and flexible? Are our feet strong? So think about all 3 of those things. So I'm going to challenge you, one exercise that's kind of fun to do, which will strengthen your feet, is to just use your feet to pick things up off the floor, and especially your toes. The toes can grip, can pick things off the floor. So even if you just want to, practice or play with your feet, picking up small objects off the floor, or even just, put a towel on the floor and use your foot to scrunch up the towel, that will help to strengthen your feet and to keep them nice and flexible. So that is what I wanted to share with you today.